Hello, good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is Harper Harp. How you doing today? Please subscribe to my channel and share like and press like and share your thoughts under the commentary. And please donate to my channel at ROYAL at $ROYALWYKE $ROYALWYKE. Thank you for coming in, guys. I appreciate my subscribers, and please support my channel. I'm going to look forward to bring more content and upgrade this channel so that I can keep myself present before Black empowerment and before Black life in our media apparatus. Now, I today want to discuss main government, and I think it should be a discussion. We should have many discussions. We're reshaping ourselves. We're redirecting our ideology for a greater good and for a great cause. We're putting ourselves into a corrective state and out of dire state at large, those who are at large in these places, and we are. Basically, the whole Black community is, even those who are considered high, overskilled, and in those positions because of the way Black suffering has been among society. So we have to keep ourselves laser focused on what we need to do, and we are in the heartbeat of it. Okay. So let's continue to move on and be there in this space. And what I want to talk about today is main government. It has a broad sector. The main government. And first, we want to know, who is main government? Who is main government? This Everything has a title, everything has a projection and a name and a center. And main government, it has been deemed before us in science that Democrats are main government. They're deemed as main government. And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of Black people that I talk to mostly Black people because I want to exchange with Black people. Now, I'm a Black person. We understand each other's family and culture. So we talk and we uplift, and we debate. But we want to talk about, and we want to tell things. And I've learned a lot of Black people don't understand how things truly anchor, that we're going with fads and ideas, and we're not truly looking at the real science and being fantilized. And that's a threat and a danger to us that we do that, because people count on us doing that so that we won't be mandated to full correction. And what we're doing here is redirecting our ideology and putting ourselves in forms of correction for the greater good out of dire state, those of the most of us. And it's been a very interesting thing to do. It's always good to have a beginning, even though you look at the science and say, well, we should be greater than this by now. However, we're interesting and we exist interestingly. However, we won't exist interestingly in the wrong way no more. No, no, no. That ain't what we're doing right now. We calling out and we making demands and we anchoring sophisticated. And we're bringing the sophisticated exchange to our cause, to our sector of existence. So let's continue to talk about main government. Main government is the one who gets to call the image. They get to be the mainstream. They win in terms of upholding everything, in terms of being there present before you, because they're the main government. Now, we do have other party, and that is the Republican Party, and we have the Independent, and which a lot of people don't claim and have not implemented that particular sector as independent. I think Black people, in my opinion, should pretty much look at that, and we probably will. Whereas though we can make a better and greater stance in terms of being separated from all this diluted smoky mirror thing in this muddy water situation that they're doing to us, so that we continue suffering in the country and paying dues to it while other people win. And see, this is something that they have been able to project on Black life and Black business, Black uprising, and Black political concerns. Reparations is supposed to be done. It's already supposed to have been done. And right now, it's really important that we continue being in the heartbeat of this until we execute. There'll be no excuses necessary. We're not taking that. That's something that we're not taking. We're not doing that. That's impossible. Just like it's impossible for a human being to take off and fly. You can only walk. So that's how we look at an excuse right now. We don't have time for excuses. Now we do have the time and the sophistication of debating. This is how we learn healthy debates, and we good faith, and we can good faith conversation, good faith communicating, and we can end up being laser sharp and looking at this thing even more strategic. There's nothing wrong with conversing. People need to understand what's going on. People need to have better projections and better ideas, ideology in terms of what need to happen and what has been happening also. So us being in communications is good because that's what they don't want. People who benefit from you from your place of being, and when you try to change that for yourself, whether you're suffering, the first thing they don't want you to do is talk. They don't want you to communicate. They don't want you to exchange. So you have think tanks, and so you have a protection. Now it's a protection to us, but a threat to the society for the most part because they benefit. People it's just the way we're anchored at slavery here, and what happened in terms of the floor being raised. People benefit from us as a battery to this society when we're going uncorrected and going under America and hardship, even being physically harmed, and then yet in dire state of what we can have and do before our families as a choice of comfort and honorable exchanging and in business and before our families and what our children can do, and having to face a certain element that keeps us in dysfunction. This is very serious, and we stop it here. There's a crime going on, and our mandates, what we should have, is going unimplemented. And this is a problem, and I'm very affected by it. And hopefully you are too. And I know from the science, even black people that are considered high society, dignitaries, so forth, they're also all affected by this, but in different ways. Because you have different life, different sectors of life for any group. You have the grassroots, which is us. You have people that are in leadership. You have people that that are in professionalism and all kinds of iconic status and so forth. So people are suffering, but in terms of every step and sector in this pyramid, you get the effects of being a slave descendant, regardless if you're a politician or a icon. Because when you're black in America, which has happened to you, you're going to get this effect like Bill Cosby got. We don't know whether he did it or not. I'm going to use that for example. Like, this is the effect. But he's going to suffer because he's first a black man. So this is what they said. We know that. We don't know, but we're gonna go on the word of mouth, and there's so many people, and then we're gonna also project this even more because we can. But yet they didn't prevail. Shout out to Cosby, Mr. Respect to Dr. Cosby, Mr. Respect to our honorable Bill Cosby. So we have to understand being a slave descendant on every level has an effect on your life. And the first thing, a part of correction is going to come with the dollar amount so that people that are in this situation can now opt in other situations and other surroundings, other findings by having that which America requires. And that's a liberty. Economics in America is a liberty. It always have been. That is the whole reason for slavery. Economic base. You were the highest priced vehicle or the highest priced thing that could be actually exchanged so that you can also keep economy and winnings up to a society blood sacrifice. And this is a people. Not only that you suffer in blood sacrifice, you suffered in terms of the way you exist, coming from a people that had been harmed in the way you had to fight in society, yet not winning according to what United States has given people who win. So you have to understand this. This is something you really have to understand. So what we're going to do now is talk about it in a way which we've been affected, and we've been affected by main government. We have been affected by main government. Main government is the Democrat Party. You cannot be affected necessarily by, well, we've been affected by whole government also, but main government get to really call the shots. Whether people argue about it, whether people fight about it, disagree about it, main government gives society the blueprint of what to do and how to get along and how to be in society. That's what main government does. And the Democrat Party has been main government, and this is true science. They're deemed as main government because of black people giving our political status and our political element to them when we make our votes, and we've been doing it for years. So this is what I think a lot of people don't understand, and what we talked about in terms of them opting in, the moving the needle for us. And we just got through telling our people not to put them in power because there's such a disdain when it comes to us, and they have been largely causing our demise as a protective mechanism. They're not protecting us. They're supposed to. They're there for the people, and they're not there for us. So these people that serve in main government, when it comes down to black existence, they only have a career. They're not there for the people. This has been the order of business. This has been the order of politics while they there. And that is when you don't have when you're not in the correct forefront, and you're not being the embodying the epitome of what you're doing. You're not embodying real and true stance. Then something's going to go wrong, according to the people, and we suffer because of that. And we get to look at it like we're watching a show. Well, this is where it stops. So black people out there, first of all, I want you to know that this particular thing is not just, I'm going to protect the Democrat Party as bad people. I'm going to uprise the Republican Party. We exist so interestingly, we don't have any friends. The Republican Party is also the United States government. So they do not have black interests. However, we were able to convey a message during Donald Trump's presidency because of the fear of losing black vote. So we were able to get on the chessboard the way we should be. And this is how people win. They say, I'm going to do something for you, but you're definitely going to stand for me. You're going to work for me. You're going to put something in power for me, because now, because of me, you're in this situation. And black people hadn't been able to do that. They've been able to tell black people, oh, well, why don't you save democracy? Who is democracy and what is democracy? You're saving democracy. Why don't we do this? But you got to save yourself first. You cannot help anyone until you help yourself. And black people largely have lost the idea of what we should be doing. But now we're in the heartbeat of something because of the 10% that is now woke according to this situation. So we're in the heartbeat of it. And kudos to us. It's not easy, but we're here. It's always good to have a beginning. So we're here, and we'll continue to look laser sharp at this situation. But don't go blind. When I tell you that you need to know who main government is, that's been the real reason for me doing this discourse, is to talk about main government. And when you blame other people, oh, black people, the Republican Party did this, the Republican Party did this. The Republican Party did nothing but implement the United States attributes. That's all they doing. The Republican Party is doing nothing but mirroring the idea of the United States, and that's the Democrats. The idea of the United States ain't nothing but the Democrats, because they're in main government, they're in power. When something is deemed main, they're in control of what you see in the media. They're in control of everything that throttles before you. They're in control of that. They have the House and they have the Senate. They're in control of other people coming here and having America as a dream, even. So they're also in control of the fact that you don't get nothing as a slave descendant, and that you suffer, and that police and other people can harm you with impunity. And they have not made any laws. Now, they have made laws for everyone else. You see, this is what people do where they are in charge. When they have the baton, when they have the charge, they can actually write the story and make people abide. I don't care if people complain. They may say they don't like it, but Democrats, they show the country how, they give a blueprint, and they show you how to respect the country. So government works. It works when it works. It has worked, and it does work. It has worked for you as a descendant of slave. It hasn't worked for you because they don't want it to work. And that's also because we have not came to this situation as representing ourselves in self-preservation, so that we can embody true and honorable safety among society in the way in which we should. Because this is not just about being luxurious and being angry and trying to get something, and white people want to talk about that folks don't want to work. This is about safety. Wealth is safety in America. That's why other people have it. Really, to be honest with you, if you want to look at this really strategically, black people should not even be working in terms of the way we exist in this country as a historical suffering and a historical anchor. That's why natives get checks and they on their own reservations. They've been so-called harmed historically. And you tell me why the slave descendant is not in that sector. So look at this very strategically, guys, and understand man government and understand how to use your vote coming up, because we're not going to continue catering and giving political power to something that harm us. And we wake it up, and we wake up the whole government. Government is really bipartisanship. And we understand that. So we're going to continue to talk and look about it. But I think that black people should probably look at being independent. I'm not saying that's what we should do, but that's in my head. But one thing I can say that we're already doing is we're calling government out. We're calling government out, and we're getting government to understand your value and your narrative will come from our ideas. We are the people. Project Takeover for the greater good and safety for the people of America and the blood sacrifice of slavery. Reparations.